Guys, welcome back to the MaxF Top series. We are now beginning our fours rolls. This is going to be a melee freeze VOD. So as you can see, I have my inventory set up here with a bunch of freeze gear. We were just doing trios, so I'm waiting for the fourth person to join here. But yeah, basically for the melee freeze setup, you want to bring a 5-way mage, a heart, a swift blade, and you also usually are second in order. Melee freeze can be north or south, but these days the major brings about the same amount of gear. I think I checked his gear and he didn't have a higher barrage max hit, so that's why I called north because I prefer north. If he had a higher barrage max hit, I would let him north because north freezes more crabs. But yeah, you just want to bow on accurate here for the first hit, and then BGS 6 ticks later because you want to BGS 1 tick after the hammers. That's why you're accurate, and then save your spec if it's already 0 defense. Again, I go here for another scythe because it's just better DPS than a bow, and then I just do 1 bow, switch into my mage gear, ready for the proc. Was late there because I thought there'd be blood, but there's no 3s, so it's not a big deal. If there was 3s, I would ask them to catch 3s, but without like voice comms, you can have them catch 3s with here I should have gone for a shadow, or not shadow, trident. You can ask them to catch 3s with your like pinging. In the party plugin, if you hold down a certain hotkey, for me it's control, you can ping. Right there, I just pinged that crab, basically telling them to hit it. And then here, switch for my 30s. On like north, you want to hover 1 or 2 because if 1 doesn't spawn but 2 does, you want to still first tick that 2, and then you can get a T-bow off. Here, throw on your claws. First, you want to claw first because otherwise you might never get that spec off. If I hadn't clawed there, I would have just been scything La La Land. And then, yeah, I'm first to bloat, so, and I'm already at 120 HP, so I'm just going to run through in BGS. When you run through BGS, you basically, all you have to do is walk for 1 tick before you're running through, and that way it'll be a nice smooth run. So I just click to this purple tile over here. I have to drop an item as well. I'll put on myself, and you can see I walked to that purple tile. Then on the back side here, you can go for some T-bows. The T-bows after the run through BGS are actually much more effective because the way his defense works is he has 800 like range defense, and that 800 defense really the way it works is it multiplies with his defense level. So if his defense level is 0 and his range defense multiplies just base 60 versus like 2 or 160, because he always has some defense the way the calculation works. If you want to really figure it out, you can go on the wiki and it's all like explained how the defense calculation works. But basically, if he's 0 defense, the T-bow has far higher accuracy than if he's full defense. But yeah, there, since I had BGS, I just do like 5 scythe chalet, and then usually you can do a scythe chalet on the second down, or sometimes you can even just one hit it with a chalet. But yeah, in fours, the bullets tend to be about 10 seconds faster than trio. Here again, I pretty much just eat an angler and buy a prayer pot and as many sharks as possible. And you gotta organize your inventory here quick while you're running. I like to have my void on that side and then put my scythe well, just like this, so that when I click my scythe while meleeing, the defender drops right below it, and then drop 1 item, hearts, and usually you'll get pot shared stam and range pot. I should put on preserve here for the range pot. Maybe, well, there you go. And then, yeah, you pretty much can leave that first melee. Sometimes the the melee DPS will get it, but I just leave it. And then yeah, melee freeze is quite interesting. You basically for the first waves, you're basically just tri-birding your lane. So you'll see me later here. I'll do some like ranging pre-fires. Um, and you also want to make sure like you kill the bigs before the small there because that way you get them to spawn sooner. And then here, so here I'm ranging this wave, and then right after it, you want to barrage. My inventory absolutely goes like to down the fucking drain here, but basically it's your job to fix it. For me, I unfortunately did not fix in time to the scythe there. Again, you want to focus the big, not worry about that small there that I was not getting, but yeah, we recover from messed up scythe. Again, the reason I was in melee there when there was a mage is because I was getting ready for the big splits. Again, just try bidding my lane. Throw a little blow pipe here, and then yeah. So here I'm focusing the smalls first because you can like notice whether the room's like kind of full. There, I think I tried to attack the right mage with like a fist or something. Again, yeah, you basically just focus what comes down your lane. Here, you don't have to worry about the chin wave there, but oh no, I did not put on my blow plate. And then after the cap goes up, usually you're gonna look a little bit west and you're gonna shift more towards just being in the north. You can also get some of those mage pre-fires south. With the major, you'll be doubling up. And then these mage pre-fires are really important. You want to make sure you get at least a few sayings off on the wave 26 and 27. Big mages, those have to die immediately, and I was able to kill them there earlier. And then yeah, at this point now we're like entering cleanup phase. You can leave that big mage and let your major just get it and just clean up the smalls, especially because he had ancestral legs, so he does have more mage gear when it comes to singing. And yeah, you want to focus north. Unfortunately, I was nulled on that 28, but still able to get the 252. Pretty respectable for his time. You should really be able to get no 255. You should really be able to get 252s, but still good enough. And then for the boss, I just go for a claw scythe. It's technically better to do. Yeah, I scythe clawed there. It's technically better to do claw scythe uh because that way you're clawing on defense versus scything on defense, and claw has more accuracy than scythe. Um, There, I went for 3 bullpipe bow because that's the tick I thought I was on, but I was really on the tick for 2 bows. And then you want to just do your second claw here. I didn't end up doing it, but yeah, I should have clawed there, and then if I had clawed, I would have done. Luckily, it went back melee, so I was able to claw here. If I had clawed, I would have done 3 bullpipe bow. But yeah, I got the job done. Pick up my shark again. And off to so again, yeah, money raids. You pretty much don't want to be AFK between rooms. I don't know what Ryler's doing, but yeah, we're gonna have to. You'll see here in a second that I'll end up having to wait for him. But if everyone in the team is on point, then it just increases your raids per hour a lot less waiting here. But that's fine. It's also supposed to be fun, so it's not really that big a deal. Sometimes just between rooms, people gotta like go to the bathroom or whatnot. So on melee freeze, on default, you're pretty much 1-3. Um, and then I have a torture here, so you pretty much want to camp Bellator for your sight swings. But because Bellator is slash accuracy, doesn't give any crush accuracy, you still want to hammer it with the Ultor just for the max hits. If you don't get it on and it's too much to think about, it's not that big a deal because hammer's more about reducing the defense and less about damaging Sotetseg. Here, since it's in the middle, the start of the maze was relatively in the middle. You can always pretty much send it first tick. Also there, it off on 3. That so as you can see, they're struggling a little bit. I probably shouldn't have done that. It depends on the team. some teams will be very comfortable with off on 3. And as you can see, I didn't spec this phase because by default, melee freeze is just 1-3. With 4s as well, you always have to be looking across you to see the other player and see if there's an orb coming at you from them. Also, in 4s, you want to try and make sure that you um, watch to see like if one of your melee DPSs venges you. You can see I'm specking on this phase because I'm 1-3. But like you can see here, I have 95 HP, so I'm just watching to see if someone venges me. Here we DD for the big ball. Um, Unfortunately, I don't think anyone ends up venging me. But if you run the maze relatively quickly and all spec your proper rolls and stuff, so there's 4 people. So the major still has a hammer defender, but he's the one that backs up hammer specs if the original people meant to spec their phases miss their hammers. Yeah, I guess I'm pretty toxic. Basically, during the maze, he ran like not the optimal pathing, um, and technically lost a tick where we were just walking along the maze. But what can you do? For Xarpus Exhumes, you pretty much want to go to the corner where you were for Sotetseg. That's the most simple thing. And then if the other guy, like south or north, leaves his corner for any reason or is on Exhume, you just go to the middle of where your corners were. So like as you could see, Marge there, because I left earlier, went to the middle. Or kind of just FFAing it. You'll also switch corners like mid exhumes very often. That's very helpful as well. See now March is in where the corner where I started. You just kind of got to roll with that. This is the last exhume, so everyone's right in the middle, and you all want to make sure you camp Ultor for the entire of Xarpus. On melee DPS, it's pretty much default that you'll do 1 hammer, 1 BGS, but you do want to watch the specs because if your whole team only hits 1 hammer, you can go for a second hammer. It looks like a lot of people were missing, um, missing their specs. I think we ended up using all our specs and it's still 85 defense, but as long as you're doing like proper 5 tick just like this, it's basically free. I don't know. Actually, I'm like in the lab here for what I'm hitting. Again, it's not that a big a deal. Like I'm half health already, but the boss is almost about to screech. Like you can mess up a bit. You just want to make sure you don't rag the main tiles that you use post screech. Um, I'm also pretty low run energy, so I want to watch out for that. But I'll probably start walking post screech here. Yeah, it screeches, and then just wait for it to do its first turn, and then I attack it. Uh, and then I get into 2-2-1-2-1 here. Basically, when I attacked it right after it screeched, I didn't attack it the same tick it turned. So I knew that the next time I did 2 sites, I was going to attack it the same tick it turned. And then I could get the 2-2 part of the cycle there. When you do the 2-2, like the second 2 in the cycle, it can be pretty easy to not run to wherever it was looking because again, it looks like someone took my brew or something, but that's fine. I think we just swap out. Yeah, see, so I took his rest and he took my brew. I don't know why I didn't pick up the brew, but he dropped it, so I'll probably get it later or something. For melee freeze, you're usually second in order border, so you're usually 2 on Hado. And here you're gonna get to see Hado for the first time. So Hado, you basically do 1-1-1-2, and you'll see the staff drop one more time for the melee DPS, and that way, all of our specs now are regenning, and we're able to get that 12th spec off pretty quickly. So you do a Sang pre-fire and for one auto, and then a Bloat pre-fire, and now you pick up the staff immediately. Drop it. This is tech. So if you drop it the same tick and then don't scythe, you just pick it up and shoot again, then drop it again. You can, as the melee freeze, you can tank 0 autos. Obviously, I'm missing scythes, but that way I tank 0 autos. And especially if I only came into Verzik with 1 brew for some reason, that would be very useful. It's definitely not the best, but if you're low on supplies, it's very useful. On East here, there is like a proper way to Boak. Oh yeah, I forgot to put on Bellator until just there. Ultor is better on P1 as long as you're 118, but yeah, on East here, I don't really know how to Boak, honestly. I kind of need to read up for that because may end up making a Boak guide at some point. But so basically, I just FFA the crabs, and then the way the purple crabs and the crabs on P2 work is she throws out a purple crab and spawns a bunch of the crabs that will explode. Once she has like a minimum number of attacks before she can do it, and then once it's like 20 attacks, and then once she reaches that 20 threshold, she has a chance to throw the purple crab every time. It's not guaranteed, so sometimes she'll go for ages. And then as P2 starts, go for ages without spawning one. As P2 starts, that like timer is automatically like she can throw crabs instantly. So there I gained a tick by scything the crab on the tick that I would have had to step back, and that way I'm able to get scythe right as she ends. If you go back and look at my red tick counter, I've been stepping back on 1, and that means that you could just subtract 1 from that, and you'll be able to scythe Verzik right as she's about to end her healing, right as she ends her healing. So I was stepping back on 1, so subtract 1. It goes around the tick counter again. So it's like modular. So 1 minus 1 is 0, which is 4 in this scenario. This tanking the crab, I didn't mean to path. What's that? East there. And the reason I path east is because I'm so close to the boss. I still was able to lure the boss back so that it walked for just 1 tick to webs. I could have gotten in a Swiftblade before she went to webs, but it didn't really matter. Like Swiftblade is not going to be the difference, probably. So, and then here I clawed and then was able to scythe its tick early, and it's dead on north in 4. As long as people aren't dropping ticks to crabs, it will die every single time before yellows. It's just guaranteed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. Again, my screen glitched out there. Good night.